everybody, welcome to another episode of Teaching Tuesday Ups and Downs edition. Today is going to be about something that I really don't enjoy doing, and that is weeding. I really don't enjoy it. It seems pointless to me. It never seems to stop, and there's a lot of other things that I just really don't enjoy about it. But as I've been doing it lately, there is something that I noticed about it in a connection to my spiritual life, and so maybe you might be able to get that connection too. Weeds are a lot like sin. They kind of creep up everywhere, and if you let it go unchecked, it can really take over your life, in this case, your yard. In order to get out weeds, there's a couple things that you can do. You can just kind of yank them out without getting the root of it, and what tends to happen right then is that you're not really solving it. You're making it look nice, which is what we kind of do with our sin. Sometimes we kind of just get rid of the surface level of it, and to make that appearance that, hey, we're okay, everything's fine, but really down deep, we're not. In addition to that, it's the roots. You have to get to the roots. That's the key to weeding, and that's the key to getting rid of that sin in your life, is getting down to the roots. But you can't just take care of the surface. You kind of have to get down, digging deep. And this is one of the reasons I don't like weeding, is because when you dig down deep, all these little creatures come out. Bugs, spiders, ants, insects, all sorts of stuff. And they tend to crawl all over you. And that's kind of how it is with sin. Typically, when you deal with one sin in your life, you're kind of pulling up a lot of other stuff that you didn't really know about. So for instance, if you get angry a lot and you start to take care of that sin, and you start to not just say, okay, well, I'm calm right now, but you really start to dig down into those roots and you find out why you get angry all the time, you're going to start seeing these insects and these other issues that are starting to pop up. And those are things you really don't want to deal with, but you have to in order to get to the root of that problem. The other thing about weeds is that some of them, like this sucker right here, he's a tough one. You got that tough sin in your life that you just don't want to deal with? Yeah. I think we all do. Let me try to get down in deep here. And see, that's another thing. I dig down deep and I still can't get the root. The root's down there real deep. And so I got to keep digging if I really want to. And this takes a lot of effort. It is not fun. It is not enjoyable. But here we go. Come on. Nope. It is wedged down in there. All right. Whew. All right, that wasn't even my point. But you got that sin that just will not get rid of, right? But even that, some sin, if you look at this one right here, who wants to deal with this? You see these little edges on here? And then not only do they have that, but they also have these little spikes all the way down in the middle. All the way down. And if you've ever done weeding and you grab one of these, you don't have gloves, even sometimes if you have gloves, these little thistles in here will get stuck in your skin. And I'll tell you, that's the point of sin. Satan doesn't want you to get rid of this stuff. So he puts these little weapons or defenses on our sin. And we kind of justify them. And we say, oh, okay, well, that's okay. As long as I do this. Well, point is, a weed is a weed. And a sin is a sin. And it doesn't belong. And so, yes, it takes some extra effort. And yes, it takes some other things might come up that you weren't really expecting. But all in all, when you're done weeding, and if you do it right and you get down to the roots, yeah, more than likely another root or another weed is going to come up, but probably not that same one. And every year it's going to be less and less than it was the year before. And there are things out there to help you, like weed killers, and you can put tarps down. And this can be equated to things like reading your Bible, making sure you're hanging out with other Christians, making sure that what comes into your body is positive and uplifting. And maybe that'll be another Teaching Tuesday. But all in all, I don't really enjoy weeding And to be truthful with you, I really don't like weeding out sin in my life because it's a lot of work and it makes me confront a lot of things that I don't necessarily want to deal with. But in the end, it's what's best. It's what's healthy for you. It's what's healthy for me. And when the garden is all done and when the flower bed's all taken care of and I can finally sit back and look at it, I do feel better. I feel better about the way I am and the way that it looks, and I don't have a problem showing it off. I like when people come over to our house and they see that, and not to do it to show off, but you don't have anything to be guilty of. You don't have anything to be shameful of. And so today's teaching lesson, short and sweet, hopefully, it's really just about getting down into that root, making sure that you can dig a little bit deeper, and ultimately, no sin is able to be conquered unless you have Jesus inside of you and your heart and living inside, and you're walking with him. And so if you have not had that happen, if you have no idea what that means, please feel free to leave a comment. I'd love to talk to you more about that. But really, Jesus gives you the power to conquer sin, but you're the one that has to grab that handle and dig down deep to get it. Thanks for watching today. Subscribe if you like this and you want to see more of it. If you did like this, please give us a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. See ya.